Larry Bittner 0 for 3 today. Is flying to left twice. He's not hit the ball to the right side, and he's popped to Foley at short. Romo and Jackson, a right-hander and a left-hander, throwing behind to Colby. One and 0 the count.
Andre Dawson has just walked in Montreal to open the bottom of the ninth. Nobody out. Dawson on.
Well, those Expos, they don't give up, Howard.
They sure don't, and they get their leadership from the great veteran Tony Perez.
Up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. Here comes Kingman. He's got to hurry as Moreno comes to the plate, and it's not in time. Kingman will score. And it's all of a sudden 5-3 Pittsburgh, and once again they will bring the tying run to home plate. And now that base hit by Robinson looms even bigger.
And now there's just the beginning of some tension as Mr. Mike Vail comes in to bat for Steve Dillon. You remember Vail, the kid who broke in with the Mets, looked like a terrific ball player, faded out, was traded, but look at those stats right here with the Cubs.
Now the 7 home runs and the 35 RBIs, that definitely gives him the potential to tie this thing up.
Tony Perez at bat in Montreal. And it's 2-0 on Perez. Man on first, nobody out. Bottom of the ninth. Fields 2, Montreal nothing. Now this.
Vail didn't get the big curveball, and the count is 0-1. Colby trying to pitch out of it here in the 8th inning. Misses away, and the count 1-1. Jackson and Romo continue to throw. Vail, a 6-foot, 185-pounder. Outside, and the count 2-1. Started his career in the St. Louis Cardinal organization, then was traded to the Mets. Was there for a couple of years.
Perez has just struck out. 1 out. Man on first in Montreal.
Look out. Fastball inside, and the count 3-1. Willie Stargell will go to the mound, and he will take a little time. Just trying to settle down his lanky right-hander. Jacoby, odd out. Madlock, of course, the third baseman guarding the line.
He really is.
That leaves that hole open between third and short. And of course, this is what you have to do.
Protect against the extra base hit.
Exactly right. They'll give him the single through the hole, but they don't want to give him that extra base hit down the line. Both clubs with 10 hits. The Pirates 5 and the Chicago Cubs 3. Big gap out in left center, and now Moreno moving a little bit more towards left. Hit to the right side. Here's Garner. He will go to Stargell, and that is out number 3. Well, the Cubs pick up a run. They lead it now Pittsburgh 5-3. Right now, let's go to Al Michaels at Olympic Stadium in Montreal.
And we welcome the viewers of the Cubs-Pirates game here. We have 2 out of the 9th inning. Steve Carlton has struck out Perez and Camargo after issuing a leadoff walk to Dawson. Carlton has struck out 12. The Expos are down to their final out. The batter is Ellis Valentine. It's 2-0 Philadelphia. Valentine pops it up, and this should do it. Larry Bowa is there, and now all of a sudden it's up to Pittsburgh. Montreal has lost 2-0. The Pirates are out in front in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh can wrap it up with a victory. So the Expos lose as Steve Carlton pitches a 3-hitter and strikes out 12. Now back to Pittsburgh and Don Drysdale.
Thank you very much, Al. Well, there's the big game as far as the Bucks are concerned, Howard. They've got to try and hold on. They've got 3 more outs to go.
This place is going to go crazy. They're going to post that final score on the scoreboard any second now. Meanwhile, the Bucks with a 2-run lead coming to bat in the bottom of the 8th. Dick Tidrow on the mound for the Cubs. And yes, sir, Bill Robinson's hit the big hit of the ball game. The grounded ball past the outstretched reach of Steve Dillard. Didn't want to criticize him. Looked like he got maybe a bit of a late jump on the ball. And looked like, there it goes. There it goes. There's the scoreboard. And they are standing. And they are waving the yellow handkerchiefs in the manner of the terrible towels of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And you'd love to see that Pirate dugout right now. That is the Buccaneers of Pittsburgh as they realize that they have 3 outs to go.
Look at
They're
this.
sitting, and look at Tim Foley. You think he's not wringing his hand? Yesterday's starting pitcher, Bert Blyleven.
There's Bill Robinson, who got the big hit. And the memories of so many great baseball years here in Pittsburgh.
This is Hart. And the first pitch inside.
I never saw a greater World Series than 1960, when the Bucks, to the tune of Camptown races, did go all the way. Bruce Froemming now. What's going on down there, Donald?
And it appears they're trying to get somebody off the field. That's exactly what has happened. They're moving somebody off the field.
Forget it.
We have Steve Davis, a new second baseman for Chicago.
We will not show that kind of thing anymore as a matter of policy. Not give publicity to a handful of kooks.
There's Davis, the second baseman. So the infield of Kelleher and De Jesus on the left side. Davis and Buckner on the right side. The outfield the same of Kingman, Thompson, and Bittner from left to right. The battery of Kim and Tidrow. 5-3 Pittsburgh. 1 ball and no strikes to Ed Ott. He's 0 for 3 today. Two and 0. There's the strike, and the count goes to 2-1.
A depressed Montreal team now in its dressing room, probably looking at this game right now.
Line down the left field line, slicing into the corner, a fair ball. That'll go for extra bases as Kingman barehands it and runs it down. Hart stops at second base with a stand-up double.
You can sense it now. But to you, Dick Williams, and to you, Tony Perez, and Andre Dawson, and Ellis Valentine, and Warren Cromartie, to everybody, Rudy May, Steve Rogers, our congratulations to you, because you're not losers. You had some season, and what you've done for baseball in Canada is something they talk about in Old Montreal, in New Montreal, in Quebec, and all over that country.
Now the leadoff double by Ott, and Phil Garner comes on. He is 1 for 3 this afternoon. He'll be trying to move it to the right side as Tidrow misses with that breaking pitch inside. Nobody out. He'll be trying to get his man over. Checking with his third base coach. That is Ott at second base. The infield all up just a little bit. The deepest of the 3 is a shortstop, De Jesus, of the 4, I should say. You see Tidrow thinking that maybe he's going to try and move it that right side, trying to make him move that fastball inside.
Let me tell you something. Tidrow's pitching this game the way he pitched so many for the Yankees. He gives nothing.
A one-hopper to Kelleher. He goes to Buckner, and they hold the man at second base, so Garner cannot advance him. That will bring on the pitcher, Kent Tekulve. Tekulve struck out his first time at bat. And we welcome you viewers who have been watching the Montreal Expos and the Philadelphia Phillies. Right here, we have 1 out. In the bottom of the 8th inning, the Pittsburgh Pirates leading by a score of 5-3. Ott, a leadoff double at second base. He could not advance as Garner bounced out to third. And Tekulve comes on. He has struck out his first time at bat. Tidrow on in relief of McLaughlin, and he almost picks him off. 1-0 the count. Now they're happy on one hand, Howard, as they know the outcome of the Philly-Montreal game, but they just flashed the final score. The Eagles over the Steelers 17-14. Jurgensen fouls that away, and the count 1-1.
Quick final two. Jets 33, Miami 27.
The Pirates 5 runs on 11 hits. The Cubs 3 runs on 10 hits. The Cubs earlier in the ball game were taken out of some innings by 4 Pirate double plays in the first 4 innings. Good breaking pitch. Make that 4 out of the first 5 innings, as they had the starter Bruce Keeson on the ropes, but they couldn't put in that one big punch. Chuck Tanner realizing that all his team needs is 3 more outs. Got him.
Good pitch. I told you, Tidrow gives nothing away.
Now there's 2 gone. Ott remains at second base, and we go to the top of the order in Omar Moreno. Moreno this afternoon, he is 0 for 3. Has struck out. He's bounced to third. He bounced to the second baseman with a pitcher covering, and then with 1 out in the 7th inning was walked by Tidrow. Foley trying to bunt was hit by a pitch. Parker grounded out. Stargell was walked intentionally, and with the bases loaded, the big key base hit by Robinson, just eluding the dive of the second baseman Dillard. As Joey Amalfitano will go to the mound, and he will talk. Having a chance to talk a little bit to Tidrow. You've got first base open. You've got the right-handed hitting Foley on deck. Left-hander Doug Capilla throwing down in the Chicago dugout. Chicago bullpen, I should say, as Amalfitano goes back to the Chicago dugout. Fouls that first pitch away. If you're looking to the Chicago ninth,
that's where they're in trouble, Don. They've gone to the bench so much already. The upcoming batters, Kelleher, Tidrow, and Kim, they got to go to the bench again. There you see the graphic.
And they're down by 2, 5-3 Pittsburgh. Just missing the outside corner, and the count 1-1. Well, I think you've hit it right on the head, Howard. The Reds, and it appears that right now, unless something happens to Chicago, it could be the Reds and the Pirates, but boy, the 2 clubs that finished second, Houston and Montreal, what a battle they gave. There's a ground ball up the middle. Good play by De Jesus to get him. Now the Bucks are gone in the 8th inning. After 8 complete, it is 5-3 Pittsburgh, and we'll be back after this message and the word from our local station.
Boy, did I save money on this hat.
Yeah?
We smart shoppers compare prices.
Wish we could do that with our homeowners insurance.
Compare with Allstate.
Compare?
Bring in your homeowner's policy and compare rates. Odds are Allstate might save you some money.
We can save you some money.
It does pay to compare.
Oh, it sure does.
Love your hat.
Oh.
Hey, where'd you get the hat?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
And that's a promise from us, the Good Hands people.
Sunday, Mindy's not laughing when a beautiful girl wants to become Mrs. Mork.
It takes a lot of hard-working people to keep its states, towns, and communities running. In New York State, it takes people like us. CSEA AFSCME, the union that works for you. You'll find us on the roads, keeping them in good condition and clearing them in stormy weather. We're in the hospitals, helping to keep people healthy. We bring comfort to the sick, hope to the less fortunate, and help to those that can't always help themselves. Wherever people need us, that's where you'll find us. CSEA AFSCME, a union that represents public employees, proud of the work we do to make life better for you and your family. In New York State, we're CSEA AFSCME, the union that works for you.
There are 42,176 fans down, and look at them standing, chanting, waving their yellow bandanas. Let's go, Pittsburgh. Beat 'em, Bucks, says the scoreboard. Hold 'em, Bucks, says the scoreboard. They're only 3 outs away from winning in the National League East.
Now it'll be Mick Kelleher to lead it off as the fans here try and get something going. They want to see the Bucks with 3 fast outs and the Cubs trying to prolong that. Kelleher, you see what he's done this afternoon. Has walked twice, sandwiched in between, hit into a double play. Jerry Martin on deck. Kent Colby trying to close the door and wrap up the divisional title for the Pirates. There's the strike.
For those of you who may have joined us late, Montreal has lost to Philadelphia 2-0. Colton with a 12 strikeout 3-hit performance, a called ball. We are in the top of the 9th. The Bucks leading 5-3. The key hit, a bases loaded single that broke up a 1-run game by Bill Robinson, whom Tanner had inserted as a defensive measure in place of Milner.
High chopper. They've got to hurry, and they throw him out. Out number 1.
There are 2 to go. And this Pittsburgh team gets ever so close. They started terribly. Seemingly they always do every year. Do you remember the way it was? They're at the very bottom, even below the Mets. But then this team came together. Put it all at one point in the acquisition of Tim Foley and the trade to the Mets of Frank Tavares, who in fairness to Frank had himself a fine season with the Mets. If that's possible.
This is Jerry Martin. Martin trying to keep it going, and the crowd roaring with every strike.
But Foley glued that infield together, and he got big hits, and he advanced runners, all the subtle skills of the game. And then Willie Stargell, the great veteran, came on to have a great year. Dave Parker, always great.
Pops him up, it might be playable. Willie Stargell will have a play and makes a catch out number 2.
There is only 1 out to go. Throw in the acquisition of Bill Matlock, twice National League batting leader, who has come back to himself here in Pittsburgh, and Phil Garner, another of the unheralded ones. People like Bill Robinson and a manager like Chuck Tanner, who doesn't try to make men conform, but who lets them do their own thing, and somehow there grew among this Bucks club a togetherness that is now manifesting itself. Next.
This is Bruce Kim, 1 out away.
And if they win this, it'll be their 98th victory. More games than they have won in a season since 1909, when they won 110 in a shorter game schedule. It used to be 154. Now, as you know, it's 162.
0-1. 0-2, and the Pirates are 1 strike away.
They can feel it now. It's on top of them.
Now Colby trying to close it out right here as security moves onto the field. As Colby delivers outside as he overthrows the curveball, and the count goes to 1-2. Willie Stargell, he's been through it. He knows what it's about. Colby with a new ball. Just trying to collect himself. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Bruce Kim. Pops him up, and this ought to do it. Bill Matlock calling. He is there. He makes a catch, and the Pirates win the 8th.
reward for the fans of Pittsburgh. And our congratulations to a gallant baseball team. We'll be right back.
A lot of people think using Federal Express is complicated. But really, it's so simple, even a vice president can do it.
Hello, Federal.
All you do is pick up the phone. We come to your office and pick up the package. Well, even a president can do that.
Hello, Federal.
In fact, using Federal Express is so simple that even a chairman of the board can do it.
Hello!
Federal Express, when it absolutely positively has to be there overnight.
Es muss nicht unbedingt ein Fort sein, das Beste aus auserlite Zündkerzen herauszuholen.
No tiene que ser un Ford. Para que usted obtenga el máximo rendimiento en las bujías, Autolite.
Autolite makes plugs for Fords, but they also make plugs for almost every car made, American or import.
Get the moonshine rags walk down. Hey, did you know that B.F. Goodrich has the best-selling line of high-performance radios?
No.
Did you know they're the most dependable radios Goodrich ever made?
No.
Did you know the Goodrich blimp is taking our picture?
Yeah?
Yeah!
Hey! Goodrich doesn't have a blimp!
That's right. We're the other guys. B.F. Goodrich, the leader in high-performance radios.
42,176 people refused to leave Three Rivers Stadium. Their team has won the National League East title. Let's go. And there it is on the scoreboard. And let's go now to the Pirates dressing room with Steve Zabriskie and manager Chuck Tanner. Steve.
Thank you, Howard. Chuck Tanner's already got some champagne on him here. Chuck, the beginning of the year, people said it might take only 90 games to win the National League East. That certainly was not the case.
No, it wasn't. I thought the league was so well balanced, that's what it would be, but it took 98. Last year, we went down to next to the last day of the season, and I'll say this is the happiest moment of my career in baseball. And I'd like to say this to you. We dedicate this pen to my mother and my dad.
Your mother's got to be one of the biggest Pirate fans, and certainly your biggest fan.
Yeah, she's the biggest one of all, and she told me today that we were going to win it. She knew what she is talking about. She really predicts a lot of good things.
You have finished second a number of times, Chuck. I know that this is extra gratifying for you to now be in a pennant.
I love it. I love it. It's great. This is just 1/3 of it. We have 2 more things we have to do. Best team I've ever managed. Best 25-man unit. Great attitude. Everybody contributed. It was 25 men that did the job for us.
You think the momentum you've gained now from a hard-fought pennant race and having it go down to the wire is going to help you and carry over into the playoffs?
Well, it's hard to say. I think that in a 5-game series, anything can happen. And I know one thing, we'll be ready just like we have been all year.
All right, Chuck, thank you very much. Congratulations from Don Drysdale and Howard Cosell as well.
Okay,
we'll be back in just a minute to talk to some of the Pirate players as we return to the Pirate Clubhouse in just a minute.
There's something about an Aqua Velva man.
My name is Kai Yastrzemski, and I've been playing Major League Ball for a lot of years. I've seen a lot of ball players come and go, and lots of aftershaves, too. I've always liked Aqua Velva.
Aqua Velva congratulates Carl on his 3,000th Major League hit. We're prouder than ever that Carl Yastrzemski is an Aqua Velva man.
Try them all if you want to, but you'll find out. There really is something about an Aqua Velva man.
Take a look at the gas mileage estimates of these small foreign cars. Now take a look at the much roomier Chevrolet Monte Carlo. That's right, Monte Carlo beats those small foreign cars at their own game. Gas mileage. And to make the new Monte Carlo look even better, you take a look at it now during your Chevy dealer's year-end clearance. See your Chevy dealer now for Monte Carlo by Chevrolet.
Who's the symbol of good customer care?
Mr. Goodwrench.
Who stands for your GM dealer's commitment to improving service at over 6,000 participating dealerships?
Mr. Goodwrench.
Whose face is seen nearly everywhere?
Mr. Goodwrench's.
Look for him. He wants to show you he cares about you and your GM car.
It's him, Mom.
Keep that great GM feeling.
It's Mr. Goodwrench.
With genuine GM parts.
Steve Zabriskie back in the Pirate Clubhouse pandemonium, of course, as they have clinched the National League East divisional race. Bill Robinson, a fellow who's kind of had a tough year this year, had a big 2-run RBI single in the 7th inning. Bill, I know it's especially gratifying for you.
It is, Steve, and I just thank and praise the good Lord because he gave me the strength to guide that ball through and to swing the bat, and I just thank him every day for not only today but for everything he's done for me.
You contributed in a lot different way this year. Coming off the bench, you were in as a defensive replacement here in this ball game as well. How do you feel about the role you played in the Pirates winning this year?
Well, anytime you can play and any way you can win, I think this is probably a little more gratifying to me. This is my second playoff. We're going to go to the World Series this year, but this is my second playoff, and the first time in '75 is when I first came to the Pirates, and I didn't get a chance to play much during the season or to help the club or to be instrumental in helping the club reach a divisional championship. So this is a little more gratifying than the first one.
Do you think it's a test of this team's character that they were able to hold off an excellent Montreal ball club and take it right down to the wire and win it?
I tell you what, I'm not saying because we did win, and I hope that they're watching me now, but my hat's off to the Montreal Expos. They're one great bunch of guys, and they battled us all the way, and hey, they're going to be tough to reckon with from here on in. I don't think anyone will ever take them for granted, and congratulations to you guys.
All right, Billy, thank you, and congratulations to you. Bill Robinson, the Pirate left fielder, with the big 2-out RBI single in the 7th inning. We'll be back with more from the Pirate locker room after a word from our local stations.
When you get Sears Aluminized Muzzler for only $17.99, you also get the Muzzler Promise.
Sears promises that the muzzler will last as long as you own your American-made car.
Or return it for refund or replacement free.
And if Sears installed it, they'll install the new one free.
Well, you can't beat that.
I think it's fantastic.
It's a great promise. Sounds like one heck of a good deal.
The Muzzler, only $17.99. Installation and additional parts extra at Sears.
She was the most beautiful girl I had ever seen.
Even though he doesn't know who she is.
Sir.
This man will cross the hottest sands, climb the highest mountains, and sail the deepest seas to make his dream come true. Because on a scale from 1 to 10, he's about to meet a 10. 10, rated R. See your fantasy come true at a theater near you. Check local listings.
The 80s are coming, America, and your Chevy dealer must make room for them. So it's your chance to get a great Chevy value, because right now your Chevy dealer's year-end car and truck clearance is on. With a great choice of new '79 Caprice and Impala sedans and coupes and station wagons, Monte Carlos, Malibus, plus tough full-size Chevy pickups, vans, and Blazers. Come in now during your Chevy dealer's year-end clearance. Get a great Chevy value. All you have to do is hurry.
Tuesday, a malpractice suit threatens to wreck Dr. St. Clair on the Lazarus syndrome.
Starts with Sam Whiskey.
Would you bury her?
Lady, I didn't come 400 miles to bury your bird.
Mr. Whiskey, there's $250,000 in gold bars sunk on the bottom of the Platte River.
Angie Dickinson cons Burt Reynolds into salvaging $1 million in gold bars that were stolen by her late husband. There's action and romance as Burt Reynolds Week starts with Sam Whiskey, Monday on the 4:30 movie.
Hollywood Squares, Monday night at 7:30.
College football 79. The thrills and pageantry of football at its finest. 30 minutes of college football action from across the land. Today's lineup of games includes that exciting game between the #1 ranked.
Not to give up or give in to anything or anybody. These guys have got it up all year. We don't have a lot of 300 hitters, a lot of guys driven in 100 runs or 20-game winners. But collectively, we got some junkyard dogs here that just scratch and claw and bite. And there's just no giving up. And that's the one thing that I'm extremely proud of. We could have tucked our tails between our legs many times or threw up the white flag for surrender. But we just don't know what giving up or giving in is all about. So everything that we've done It's just been a total team effort, and damn it, I'm just thrilled to be a Pirate in 1979. 71 was a tremendous year, but in terms of a total effort all year, I don't think nothing can compare with these guys this year. We have just some of the guttiest guys that I've ever been associated with, and I tell you, I'm just so proud for all of us that we've been able to put it together and come through as we did.
Well, Willie, I know that they're proud of you, and Pittsburgh is proud of you in particular, and of course the team in general. Congratulations on another victory, and good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you.
All right, Willie Stargell with 2 RBIs, including a big home run today. We'll be back at Three Rivers Stadium. Don and Howard will be wrapping it up here from Three Rivers in just a moment.
You know, trying to run a Major League Baseball club isn't all fun and games.
The pressure's always on. And for guys like us, there's no off-season.
So when you wheel and deal as much as we do, you can't afford to get filled up.
That's why we drink light beer from Miller. It's got 1/3 less calories than their regular beer, and it tastes great, too.
How about that trade? How about throwing in Bud Harrelson?
Let's see, Bud Harrelson, Gates Brown, and Mudcat Grant.
Right, for 2 Blue Powells and a Ferris Payne.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
I want a Frank Malzone.
I just discovered oil. Louise, we just discovered oil.
People are discovering Texaco's new Haviland Supreme, the motor oil with a special friction fighter that's been proven in fuel economy tests. Extensive tests showed that 2 of the leading 10W40 motor oils advertising extra gasoline mileage couldn't beat new Haviland Supreme. And you still get Haviland's Trooper-tested engine protection, too.
Discover new Haviland Supreme, protection plus unbeaten mileage.
We're back. You know the result. The Pittsburgh Pirates are the Eastern Division title holders. There is yet the big job against Cincinnati, but done by way of wrap-up, I'd just like to say this. The folks have heard from Chuck Tanner, from Bill Robinson. There's Harvey Haddocks. There's the locker room scene now. And they heard from the great statesman, Willie Stargell. From those 3, you got a sense of what these men are all about, and a very good sense. And Willie Stargell used the term junkyard dogs. Now, this is Pittsburgh. It's not the south side of Chicago, and it's not the world of Leroy Brown. It's the Steel City, where they've got the steel curtain. And right there, that's the Bucks curtain. Chuck's Bucks all the way. Put it however you want. There are a together team, and Stargell put it very well, and the manager has used them all so well. So we congratulate them. But Don, what a task ahead against Cincinnati.
Oh, they certainly have that, Howard. This will be the 4th time that they have met the Cincinnati Reds in the championship playoffs, the 6th time overall that the Pittsburgh Pirates have been there. And the last time was 1975. They have yet to defeat the Cincinnati Reds. So we'll wait and see what happens. That will all take place next week. Once again, the final score, Pittsburgh 5, Chicago 3. And be sure to join us tomorrow night for ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. The New England Patriots meet the Green Bay Packers at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, and 6 Pacific time. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United is building the largest airline in the world around you. ABC's Major League Baseball has a presentation of the leader, ABC Sports, bringing you exclusive coverage of the Lady Olympics.
Tonight, there are big things happening on Mork and Mindy as a beautiful lady tries to cut out Mindy and become Mrs. Mork. Then a hot office romance has everyone talking on The Associates. Both tonight on ABC.
This is Watkins Glen, New York. October 5th, 6th, and 7th. This peaceful setting will host one of the greatest racing events in the world, the Toyota Grand Prix of the United States. Your Toyota dealer can save you up to $11.50 per person on ticket packages including general admission, reserved grandstand seating, and garage tour. And the Grand Prix starts with the official pace car, Celica Supra. A great race, a great ticket offer from your Toyota dealer.
Burt Reynolds this week on the 4:30 movie. Affairs presentation, we now join Directions, a public affairs presentation of ABC News, already in progress. The title of today's program is Perceptions of John Paul II.
Promote and recognizing that in the religious traditions, human rights and the dignity of the human person finds its strongest resource. So I would look to that as primarily a confirmation of our faith, the Catholic faith to be sure, but also our common faith in the dignity of the human person is based in our religious traditions. I think he says that by his statements, but also by his own personal witness of a man of deep religious faith who is completely committed to the dignity of the human person. It seems to me that we've seen in this past year a very distinctive and very personal vision of John Paul II, and I would say that it's very much a humanistic vision. He's returned again and again to the theme of the dignity of the human person as he sees it founded and rooted in the tradition of religious faith.
And yet, Father O'Hare, in his earlier visits to Poland and to Mexico, the Pope seemed almost to seek out controversy, to involve himself deliberately in political issues and concerns. Would you expect him to be as candid a critic of the American scene, or would you think he would be more restrained here?
Well, I don't think that I would distinguish between his trip to Mexico and his trip to Poland. I think on his trip to Mexico, he went to a situation that was being prepared or described as a confrontation between two different elements within the Latin American church. And his response to that was a very carefully balanced one, I think. And for the reason that it was balanced, he managed to evoke both criticism and praise from both sides. But I think when doing that, what he was saying was that this problem now of the church's involvement on the side of the poor, which necessarily means a political dimension to the activity of priests and even bishops, that this, when it gets down to the level of concrete political decisions, is best left to the local churches. He affirms some basic values in Mexico, and I think that, so I would say that in Mexico, he did not deliberately seek out political confrontation.
And if we can
deny the extreme of political involvement in the liberation theology. That is, there certainly have been extreme positions, and he seemed to be negating that.
Yeah, from
even
his
though
own,
he endorsed the concern with the poor.
I think his own experience in Eastern Europe makes him very suspicious of any kind of collaboration with Marxist forces or adoption of Marxist ideas.
One of the things I've been interested about is someone who was brought up from such a particular kind of a political situation as the Polish one, how we could translate that experience into other political and social views. I feel very expectant about his visit here for 2 or 3 reasons. First of all, I think there's a tendency, not only in my own particular church, but across Christendom in the United States, of pulling back from social involvement. And although the Pope has, I think, relatively conservative, from my point of view, theological views on some things like birth control and so on, I think that he certainly says with his whole being and his whole life that the church must be involved in social issues, which means eventually political issues with a small p. So I think he will show all of us once again the need for this, and as some of us continue to be involved in social issues, the Pope's witness will make it easier for us to be so. The second thing is a realization through his person that strong Christian faith need not be fringy, charismatic, or highly emotional, pietistic faith, but that the old, strong Catholic tradition of which we feel ourselves a part, Catholic in the deepest sense, is still alive, strong Christian faith. So both these things, I think, will be very helpful to our church as well as hopefully to the Roman Catholic Church.
May I suggest and see what your opinions are about this, that in his visit here, the Pope for the first time will be visiting a country that is pluralistic in its religion. Mexico, Poland, Ireland are essentially Catholic countries. Is that going to make it more difficult for him to involve himself in these social issues, since he will not have anything approaching a unanimous country or a unanimous faith behind him?
I think he's a man who's speaking to the world anyway when he speaks from Rome, and he speaks very forthrightly. And I think he's got a particular point of view. I was interested, particularly after I had met him, to read those writings which were available. And I have here two books. One is Sign of Contradiction, a series of talks which he gave at a retreat for Pope Paul VI and people from the Curia, and the other a book of his poetry, Easter Vigil and other poems. And in them, it's very clear that he has certain points of view which are expressed very definitely and forthrightly. He puts the whole Marxist situation, it seems to me, in the context of a relationship to the idea of a covenant. In this book on Sign of Contradiction, he says the first 3 chapters of Genesis are fundamental for understanding anything about the relationships of human beings, the church and the like, and it all is to be understood in terms of a sign of the covenant. And he doesn't believe that you can get away from this whether you're engaged in Marxist thought or in any other sort of thought.
Well, of course, Marxism grew out of a Jewish background, and there are many parallels, I think.
Well, I think you need, what he says is that if you're going to have eschatological views, you have to go back to beginnings. And the beginnings here he sees in the biblical portrayal of a covenant, God first with Adam, then with Abraham, Moses, the Jewish people, and then, of course, with Jesus.
I think one of the points that he made in his visit to Mexico was his insistence that while the church must be concerned with the economic and social oppression that so much of the Latin American continent labors under, the church cannot identify itself with any particular political economic system. That doesn't mean that individual Christians should not get involved on that level, but they cannot claim for their particular political option the full force of the Christian tradition, that there is only one way that this society can be organized.
I suppose a Christian would say that the ideal Christian society would have political democracy and human freedom, but also economic justice. And except for possibly some small countries, I don't know that much about places like New Zealand and Sweden and such, today you either have political freedom but economic injustice, as in America, or you may have economic justice, as in China, it seems so to be, but no political freedom. And the thing that certainly I am working for as a Christian citizen is some time in the future where we can have both. And there's no system yet found which guarantees both, and therefore the church cannot identify itself either with Marxism on the one hand or...
But I don't think there ever will be that kind of a system.
Well, this is an ideal.
But in connection, to go back to the question you asked earlier, I think that when he comes to the United States, he surely will address us, conscious of the position of the United States as a nation of great military power and great wealth, and speak to us of our obligations to the rest of the world, particularly the poorer nations of the world. There are many who would say that the wealth of America comes at the expense of the poorer nations of the world, and I think he will address that issue. I think he will also address the whole question of a consumer society, our economy, after all, based in a way on the creation of needs, to create the needs for more and more products. And that develops very serious problems in terms of personal meaning, meaning of one's personal life, and also the overall relationship of the United States to the rest of the world. I think, though, that he will speak to these issues in ways that will be conscious and politically sensitive to the fact that you mentioned, that this is, after all, a pluralistic society and different, perhaps, from the audience that...
I think you tend to ignore the fact, I mean, the emphasis has moved to his political and social pronouncements. And obviously, anyone who's engaged, as he is in world leadership, is engaged with that. But I think you really have to deal, as I suggested we ought to deal, with the fundamental substratum out of which he operates. And he operates out of a religious substratum. The point is, there are elements within this that all of us can relate to, because we're all biblically motivated. And I think that's a point of contact with the Pope. And out of this stems his own points of view, which may differ from yours, Bishop Moore, from yours, Father O'Hare, even. I don't know whether you're permitted to differ, are you? But
no comment.
Out of this stems his point of view, and I really think you have to put him in his context.
Well,
as a religious figure to say that he wants to achieve religious ends, of which the social economic ends are simply an aspect.
No, I would agree. And
Well, I have problems with just simply an aspect. I think the biblical tradition in the Old Testament and the New is that you cannot separate religion from human concerns.
I agree. I don't think he does separate it.
No,
But
I don't think he does.
I think he wants to put an underpinning under it.
Oh,
and
surely.
I think
Yeah.
really this is very much what we need in our world, because you can go off, like Stephen Leacock's writing, you can mount your horse and go off in all directions, unless you have something that you're relating to. He relates to something.
I think you're right, Rabbi, and I think from the very beginning, both in what he has said and also in his own personal witness, he has linked these two things together: religious faith and the dignity of the human person and the possibilities of human life. So right from the very beginning, I had the privilege of being present at the liturgy that marked his inaugural almost a year ago. And if you recall, he spoke then, he said, he held up the book of the Gospels and he said, "Let the hearts of men and women and the systems of the world be open to this message." Man, he said, of course, in the United States, I hope he doesn't say man, I hope he says man and woman, that with what reverence we must say this word. So from the very beginning, his religious faith brings a vision of human dignity and implicitly the kind of society in which individuals can realize that.
He wrote an article in America on his inauguration.
Yeah.
Is he fulfilling what you had expected?
Yes, I think so. I think he, of course, you know, this tremendous, what has been called this papal mania that seems to be enveloping the country as he arrives, makes, there are some ambiguities to this. I mean, after all, I think we have a tendency in this age, when we have so many complex problems, to look to personalities to solve our problems.
Saviors, yeah.
We do this in the political realm, and we may be doing this a little bit in the religious realm as well.
Yeah.
I am quite happy that he's coming. I applaud the Pope. I think he's been a wonderful religious leader in terms of the witness that he's given. But the problems of Christian faith in the modern world have to be worked out, and he does not come to rescue us from the responsibility of working those problems out
Let me ask
ourselves.
you, Father O'Hare, can the Pope help involving himself while he is here in such issues of burning concern to Catholics and between Catholics and Protestants as women's rights in the church, abortion and divorce and these controversial subjects?
No, I don't think his very coming means that he's involved in those issues. I just say this, though, that the liberal agenda for the Catholic Church may look different from the perspective of John Paul II than it does from the perspective of American Catholics. I think this goes back to the point that Bishop Moore raised earlier, that anyone coming out of a particular culture in a particular society naturally has a viewpoint conditioned by that experience. So I think that in these areas, the Pope has a certain learning experience to pass through. I should say that, you know, in the Second Vatican Council, one of the more remarkable things that I've been doing some reading about one of his interventions as a bishop, relatively young bishop, he spoke about the need for the church to be a listening church as well as a teaching church.
Could I ask you? Could I just interject something which I think is terribly important? There are radical theological differences, or at least moral theological differences, between some of the Protestant churches and the Roman Catholic Church in the areas you just spoke of. But I think it's terribly important, and particularly in America today, to show that Christians and men of God, whatever their background, can trust each other and work together over and above such differences. And I would hope that the Pope, on the one hand, has been quite clear about his views on these matters, and yet he's coming over here, and I hope that symbolically he acts out in his trip this trust and friendship despite the differences between us, which really is at the heart of a pluralistic society.
I think the Church has made a major step forward since Vatican II, and you know, the Jewish community is very much aware of a fundamental change in relationship. I was in Venice at one of these itch-kick meetings that I referred to 2 years ago.
Itch-kick, that's a nice guy.
Yeah, I can't translate it. I did at the beginning.
Got a hair shirt.
Yeah, yeah. And we had a meeting with the Vatican Committee on the Jews, held in a Catholic retreat, where incidentally everyone ate kosher food. And we met the preceding Pope who came to visit us, Cardinal Luciani.
Who was then the Patriarch of
Who was then the Patriarch of Venice. There a paper was presented by Professor Federici, which in effect said, as we interpreted it anyway, that the church should stop seeking to convert Jews, that period was over, that there was a recognition of the ecumenical and the pluralistic character of society. Now, I got the impression from what the Pope said at our audience with him that this is a point of view which he more or less accepts. He recognizes the pluralism of the world. He recognizes the problems of the world. I think his actions at Auschwitz, for example, were not only courageous actions, but were very sensitive actions and sensitive to the pluralism of human suffering in the world. And he made a particular point, I think, of recognizing the Hebrew inscriptions there and the fact that almost 3 million Jews were burned at Auschwitz. So I think he has this capacity for it, and I simply expect that the Catholic Church, having made its major break already with a more rigid philosophy, is simply going to move forward, and that he was elected with the feeling that he would be a man who would go forward. I have a feeling that he may go farther than people expected, but that's because there's inherent vitality in him.
If I could just say, I think what you just said, Rabbi, reminded me again of one of the currents in this personality that's so fascinating. There's no question about it that he affirms Catholic tradition in a very uncompromising way, but he is also a man of the modern era, and he has suffered through both Nazi oppression and communist oppression. He's experienced that. He had the experience of being a worker also. He is not one of, he's not someone who's lived all his life in a seminary. So he's
When Homestake Mining was founded a century ago, gold sold for $17 to $20 an ounce. One of Homestake's co-founders, George Hearst, made so much money that his son, William Randolph Hearst, was able to found a newspaper empire. The Hearsts sold their interest decades ago, and Homestake's mine in Lead, South Dakota, has become the largest gold mine in the Western Hemisphere. In Lead, the price of gold is front-page news every day. With the price of gold so high, Homestake's gold mine is turning into, well, a gold mine. Homestake sells its gold under contract to industrial users, but as those contracts expire, the new ones reflect the glittering price of gold. So who's unhappy in Lead? The gold miners who work for Homestake. Only last June, they signed a new 3-year contract, average wage $7.75 an hour. The contract contains a price of gold bonus. For every $5 gold climbs over $275 an ounce, the miners get a bonus of 7 cents an hour. But never dreaming that gold would hit $400 an ounce so soon, the union agreed to a ceiling on the bonus at $330 an ounce.
We would have never ratified the contract or even brought it back to the membership if we knew gold was going up like it is now.
So the union is asking Homestake to reopen negotiations and eliminate the ceiling on the bonus.
The contract was negotiated in good faith, and both parties agreed to the $275 to $330 spread. They didn't know any more than we knew how fast it was going to go up.
The union concedes the present contract is binding.
The profit of this company has got to be zooming something fierce. If the company couldn't well afford it, we would surely never ask for it.
The company says you made the deal, a deal's a deal. What do you say to that?
Well, that's basically that's true, but out of the goodness of their heart, they ought to, with their profits, they ought to be willing to share a little.
The company hasn't yet responded to the union's request, but an official points out the company lost money for years when gold was fixed at $35 an ounce. They look at the current bonanza as a way of catching up. Don Webster, CBS News, Lead, South Dakota. When Homestake Mining was founded a century When Homestake Mining was founded a century ago, When homestake mining was founded a century ago, gold sold for $17 to $20 an ounce. One of homestake's co-founders, George Hearst, made so much money that his son, William Randolph Hearst, was able to found a newspaper empire. The Hearsts sold their interest decades ago, and homestake's mine in Lead, South Dakota, has become the largest gold mine in the Western Hemisphere. In Lead, the price of gold is front-page news every day. With the price of gold so high, homestake's gold mine is turning into, well, a gold mine. When homestake mining was founded a century ago, gold sold for $17 to $20 an ounce. One of homestake's co-founders, George Hearst, made so much money that his son, William Randolph Hearst, was able to found a newspaper empire. The Hearsts sold their interest decades ago, and homestake's mine in Lead, South Dakota, has become the largest gold mine in the Western Hemisphere. In Lead, the price of gold is front-page news every day. With the price of gold so high, homestake's gold mine is turning into, well, a gold mine. Homestake sells its gold under contract to industrial users, but as those contracts expire, the new ones reflect the glittering price of gold. So who's unhappy in Lead? The gold miners who work for homestake. Only last June, they signed a new 3-year contract, average wage $7.75 an hour. The contract contains a price of gold bonus. For every $5 gold climbs over $275 an ounce, the miners get a bonus of 7 cents an hour. But never dreaming that gold would hit $400 an ounce so soon, the union agreed to a ceiling on the bonus at $330 an ounce.
We would have never ratified the contract or even brought it back to the membership if we knew gold was going up like it is now.
So the union is asking homestake to reopen negotiations and eliminate the ceiling on the bonus.
The contract was negotiated in good faith, and both parties agreed to the $275 to $330 spread. They didn't know any more than we knew how fast it was going to go up.
The union concedes the present contract is binding.
The profit of this company has got to be zooming something fierce. If the company couldn't well afford it, we would surely never ask for it.
The company says, you made the deal, a deal's a deal. What do you say to that?
Well, that's basically that's true, but out of the goodness of their heart, they ought to, with their profits, they ought to be willing to share a little.
The company hasn't yet responded to the union's request, but an official points out the company lost money for years when gold was fixed at $35 an ounce. They look at the current bonanza as a way of catching up. Don Webster, CBS News, Lead, South Dakota.
towards the bag at second base. Now try to keep an eye on Moreno and keep him close.
When Homestake Mining was founded a century ago, gold sold for $17 to $20 an ounce. One of Homestake's co-founders, George Hurst, made so much money that his son, William Randolph Hurst, was able to found a newspaper empire. The Hursts sold their interest decades ago, and Homestake's mine in Lead, South Dakota, has become the largest gold mine in the Western Hemisphere. In Lead, the price of gold is front-page news every day. With the price of gold so high, Homestake's gold mine is turning into, well, a gold mine. Homestake sells its gold under contract to industrial users, but as those contracts expire, the new ones reflect the glittering price of gold. So who's unhappy in Lead? The gold miners who work for Homestake. Only last June, they signed a new 3-year contract, average wage $7.75 an hour. The contract contains a price of gold bonus. For every $5 gold climbs over $275 an ounce, the miners get a bonus of 7 cents an hour. But never dreaming that gold would hit $400 an ounce so soon, the union agreed to a ceiling on the bonus at $330 an ounce.
We would have never ratified the contract or even brought it back to the membership if we knew gold was going up like it is now.
So the union is asking Homestake to reopen negotiations and eliminate the ceiling on the bonus.
The contract was negotiated in good faith, and both parties agreed to the $275 to $330 spread. They didn't know any more than we knew how fast it was going to go up.
The union concedes the present contract is binding.
The profit of this company has got to be zooming something fierce. If the company couldn't well afford it, we would surely never ask for it.
The company says, you made the deal, a deal's a deal. What do you say to that?
Well, that's basically that's true, but out of the goodness of their heart, they ought to, with their profits, they ought to be willing to share a little.
The company hasn't yet responded to the union's request, but an official points out the company lost money for years when gold was fixed at $35 an ounce. They look at the current bonanza as a way of catching up. Don Webster, CBS News, Lead, South.
in this concrete problem that we are discussing, Carter has not been honest. Carter has not been moral. He has not been sincere. That is what I'm saying. I am not going to pass final judgment on his person, but I am referring specifically to this concrete fact. True, Carter made some recent statements. He called us puppets and things of that type. A bit strange, because he had not used that language concerning Cuba before. Because of an elemental feeling of dignity, I am not going to respond to this ridiculous charge. But I will ask a question. Why, if we are a satellite country, is so much attention paid to Cuba? And it is obvious that the U.S. government, in the political field, is practically paying more attention to Cuba than to the Soviet Union. So then, unquestionably, we are facing a strange case of a satellite.
Mr. President, regardless of who is right and who is wrong on the facts,
Señor Presidente, independientemente de quién está en lo correcto y quién no lo está con respecto a los hechos.
when you describe a president of the United States as dishonest,
cuando usted describe a un presidente de Estados Unidos como deshonesto,
and the headline reads, Castro says Carter is a liar.
Castro dice que Carter es un mentiroso.
Regardless of,
I did not want to use the word liar. I said dishonest.
Okay, you said dishonest, but the headline reads, you know the headline reads, Castro calls Carter liar.
Castro le dice a Carter mentiroso. I did not want to use that word.
Right. Dishonest.
Deshonesto.
But regardless of who's right or wrong on the facts,
de quién tiene la razón o no,
when you describe a president of the United States as dishonest,
presidente de Estados Unidos como una persona deshonesta,
are you not contributing to world tension
no está contribuyendo usted a la tensión
by
mundial,
taunting Mr. Carter that way?
provocando al señor Carter de esa manera? Actually, that is not my intention nor my wish. But how I am going to define the policy that he has followed concerning Cuba on this issue? I have a conception of things. And at least I follow a line of principles in politics. So then we are faced with a situation in which a crisis has been artificially created and dishonest procedures have been used, and this is what I say.
You say that it has been artificially created.
Pero usted dice que se ha creado artificialmente.
President Carter's official spokesman said again within the past 24 hours.
Carter, en las últimas 24 horas dijo nuevamente
this is not an artificial
que
crisis.
esto no es una crisis artificial.
They say it's a real
Ellos dicen
problem.
Que es un problema real.
That there's something new in
de que hay
Cuba.
algo nuevo en Cuba.
A Soviet combat brigade.
Una brigada de combate soviética. Precisely in that.
In 4 special teams categories to show you that they worked very hard on it and the results are very positive. 14-0 LA.
New car prices got you on the run?
Get a Hertz, 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 get a Hertz.
Get a great car buy at Hertz Buy a Car. We sell only the best cars from the Hertz Rent-A-Car fleet, and we give you the complete service and maintenance records so you know exactly what you're getting.
Get a Hertz, get a Hertz, get a Hertz, get a Hertz, get a Hertz.
Hertz Buy a Car. Call toll-free for nearest location.
Why have over 1 million people Midas-sized their brakes? Was it because they know Midas has brake mechanics that are specially trained? Was it because they know Midas has the right brake parts in stock? Or was it because they know Midas has over 20 years experience under the car? Well, whatever the reason, it certainly was no accident. It pays to Midasize your brakes.
Next Saturday, it's a firmed and spectacular bid in live coverage of the Jockey Club Gold Cup. You'll say, you saw it on CBS Sports.
Well, a game being played in San Diego, and the Chargers trying to win their 4th of the year. O.J. Simpson has scored a touchdown in that game.
Ex-Cardinal coach Don Coyle, huh?
Boy, they're having some fun down there in San Diego. They're a fine football team. Here's Hart on a first down from the 14-yard line. Pat Tilley deflected. Tilley was open. I'll tell you, that secondary for L.A., they really fly around, don't they?
They're getting excellent linebacker play right now. They got back into the pattern. He actually screened the ball away from Pat Tilley then. They got such good drops.
Yeah, that's what Tampa Bay did against them last week, and now they're doing the same thing this week.
Excellent drops, and you know, and the reason they are able to do that, Gary, is because they're playing the run so well. It allows them to loosen up a little bit and realize that Hart's going to have to put the ball on.
There's what O.J. Anderson's facing. That forward wall, the linebacking core of L.A., the second best defense in the NFC. 2nd and 10. Hart, he gets it off to Wayne Morris, and he goes airborne, but another flag on the play. Wayne Morris, I tell you, he's taken off an awful lot going into the air. That's dangerous. Pat Thomas making the tackle. But as you have been told many, many times, we have a flag on the play, and it's going to be holding against St. Louis. I've lost track. How many penalties is that now?
Every positive play they make, if something goes wrong on it, is snake bitten.
10 penalties against St. Louis. So that'll be half the distance to the goal if Jack Youngblood does in fact elect to take it.
Every game you go into, and look at a man, you're talking about frustration. Every game you go into, you talk about over and over again, don't beat yourselves. And boy, the Cardinals have been so guilty of this in their losses, haven't they?
The last 2 weeks in particular.
Holding, number 71, offense.
That's Joe Bostic, who's playing in the position vacated by Dan Deerdorf. It's good to see Dan last week, wasn't it? He's coming along well.
It is. Well, I tell you, talking about somebody missing somebody who believe they have to be missing him tremendously.
Not to take anything away from Bostic, he's done a pretty good job, but you just don't replace a guy that was voted the best offensive lineman in the National Football League the last 3 years. As Hart steps out of that trouble, he has Paris. Gary Paris couldn't get turned around, and I'll tell you, Hart did an excellent job just keeping out of that end zone and being sacked for a safety.
Now, you talk about the holding penalty on Joe Bostic. I tell you, playing against an all-pro defensive end like Jack Youngblood, I think they should allow him to hold as a rookie. Look at the pressure here. You see the pressure. Boy, they really converged on him, and he steps back up. He did a remarkable job escaping that, but he threw the ball on the wrong side of Gary Paris.
You know, one thing Hart has done the last 2 weeks better than I've seen him do is scramble around a little bit. Not scramble, but avoid people. Just get an additional second or so. He is now in a tough situation. You see it. 3rd and 17. 4:04 to go, 3rd quarter. Back from the end zone again. Steve, what a catch, and that'll be a first down. Dave Steve with a remarkable catch.
What a great play. I'll tell you what a tremendous play this is. Pressure coming, having to throw the ball like this, and look how accurately the ball is thrown, and what a tremendous catch Dave Steve makes.
And that's got to give them a real shot in the arm. Instead of having to kick out of their own end zone, they've got a first down out across the 25-yard line. And there's the stats on Jim. He had only 13 yards at half. Boy, that's Steve. He can make it. What a catch that was. Dave coming in here with 8 catches for 144 yards. He had 6 last week. And here comes Anderson out across the 30 to the 31-yard line. And he gets 5 yards. Dave Elmendorf. I tell you, Ottis is finding out that they hit a little harder in the National Football League as he gets up slowly again. He is being punished.
He's got a bad leg, doesn't he, Gary?
He's had a knee that's bothered him. Dallas
24, Cincinnati 13. Raphael Septien hit a 26-yard field goal for the Dallas's.
Dallas wins that. That means we have a three-way tie for first in that Eastern Division. 4-1, Washington, Philadelphia, and Dallas. Second down, 5 for the Cardinals. There's Morris again, trying to go up and over. You know, you can get into a habit of that once in a while, and in the last couple of 3 weeks, he's done a lot of that. Dave Elmendorf making the tackle again. And it's going to be third down and still 3 yards to go. Thomas Lott now comes in for St. Louis in the backfield, and Anderson will check out. And 5 defensive backs in for Los Angeles as Jack Reynolds comes out.
You must have noticed something. Maybe Anderson was banged up a little bit. Get Lott in for the pass play.
So another third down for Hart. He's trying to hit Gray, and Gray again. He just can't shake Pat Thomas. That's a play that just hasn't developed that often this year. Last week it was Lamar Parrish that was covering Gray so well on it. That time it was Pat Thomas, and the Cardinals are going to have to kick the football.
Jim going off there. He didn't like. He tried to make a play throwing in. The man was covered. Gray was covered. He threw the ball at him, hoping that Gray would be able to react to the ball. Gray picked up the ball too late to be able to react to it. That's why Jim's a little disappointed in the pass.
Attendance today, 48,160. What a beautiful day this has been for football. Little kicking. Other than that first kick, he has kicked very well. At the 31, Eddie Brown, and Brown dragged down from behind that time. That was a 37-yard boot. And at the 34-yard line, Los Angeles will have it. Roy Green was the man down to make the tackle on Eddie Brown. 1:44 to go in this third quarter. The Rams hanging on to that 14-0 lead.
Announcing a gas-saving breakthrough from Ford Motor Company. The first and only automatic overdrive transmission in any American car. When your car reaches about 40, Ford's new transmission automatically shifts into overdrive. The result? Your engine runs 1/3 slower for increased highway fuel efficiency. It's one of many engineering improvements that helped 1980 Ford, Mercury, and Lincoln cars average over 120 more estimated highway miles than last year on 20 gallons of gas. That's incredible. Fully automatic overdrive, only at Ford, Mercury, and Lincoln dealers.
Remember this when you choose an airline. American was first with computerized reservations to answer your calls faster.
We were first with curbside baggage processing to handle your luggage faster. And we were first with one-stop check-in to get you through the airport faster. We're American Airlines, and finding ways to serve you better is one of the things we do best.
We're American Airlines, doing what we do best.
60 minutes tonight in Sonny. Fidel Castro will visit with Dan Rather, and they're going to talk about all the controversy about those Russian troops in Cuba tonight on 60 Minutes.
Well, that's got to be an interesting show. I'm sure everyone in the country is interested in why they're there.
President Carter, of course, will address the nation on Monday night. From the 34-yard line, a first down. Pat Haden back to throw. Lots of time. He's got his tight end, Terry Nelson, and he has gone to him time and time again. Ken Green making the tackle. First down, 18-yard pickup.
Unbelievable how many times they've gone to the tight end. They seem to, he finds that little opening, doesn't do anything, you know, as far as trying to free himself, but just finds a little opening in the zone. Nice reception. Again, Terry Nelson.
A lot of time to throw on that one. 1:12 left now in the third quarter. A first down from the 47 of St. Louis. Cullen Bryant got a block on Dawson, and he gets inside the 45 to the 42-yard line. Let's check that Kansas City game now. We have a fourth quarter score, and the Chiefs have built their lead up, haven't they?
Well, Kansas City 17-6. Steve Fuller, the rookie out of Clemson, the quarterback. Who said rookie quarterbacks can't play, huh? 4-yard pass to Mike Williams, their last score.
Hey, Clemson had some football players last year, didn't they? Jerry Butler, Joe Bostic, Steve Fuller.
They're all playing well in the NFL, aren't they?
Gain of 5 on that last play. Here's Wendell Tyler. Tyler inside the 40 to the 39, and another flag. Bob Pollard making the stop. The Rams getting some fresh backs in there again. They've been alternating throughout the course of this game. Tyler and Bryant started, but then they've come in with Eddie Hill. They've used Peacock.
I tell you something, that official threw that flag about 30 yards that time. That was one of the best throws we've seen so far today.
That's going to be holding against Los Angeles. 7th penalty against the Rams. 22 seconds left. I'm not going to touch that line.
He was a long way downfield. He was way down in the secondary, and he threw the flag.
There's Ray Malavasi again.
Holding. Number 83, offense.
83 is Terry Nelson, the tight end. Malavasi will be 49 years old on November 8th. He was quite a defensive coordinator here for Chuck Knox. 2nd and 15 after that hold. Haden again, lots of time, and he's got his man. That's Ron Smith. Smith with the catch, and that should be a first down or awfully close to it.
Well, they can't accuse Pat Haden of being a dump-off quarterback today. He's going downfield with the football. Most of his completions have been the interior there, right in the middle of the field.
Well, that's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Los Angeles Rams 14, the St. Louis Cardinals nothing. We now pause for a word from your local station.
Tonight, Edith gets a job in a mental hospital, and that drives Archie crazy. Join the fun at Archie Bunker's place tonight at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
This is CBS.
Sunday.
Hi, everybody.
Edith has a surprise, and it drives Archie crazy, especially when Murray sides with Edith. Then on One Day at a Time, it's Barbara and Ann in the same class.
I feel so incredibly
stupid. Archie Bunker's place and One Day at a Time, Sunday at 8, 7 Central.
With Sonny Jurgensen, I'm Gary Bender. We come now to the start of the fourth quarter. 14-0. The Rams on top. They have the football, and Cullen Bryant advances the football inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. Calvin Favron seen a lot of action in this game for the Cardinals in place of Mark Arneson, and we wish him well. He's back home and trying to rehabilitate a knee. He's on the 4-week injured reserve list. He's hoping to get back in that 4-week span.
Well, you can believe they miss him. He's a heck of a football player, Mark Arneson.
Good man.
He goes after people, doesn't he?
He sure does. Good person. From the 31-yard line now, 2nd down 5. Wendell Tyler. And Tyler has the first down, but flags all over the place. He's to the 25-yard line. I think this may be a record for flags today. Let's see who this one's all about. It looks like the Rams. Tyler's upset about it. Discussion going on. We've just started this fourth quarter. If you've joined us late,
you've missed a lot of flags.
The first drive of the game. The Rams took it 75 yards, scored on a 1-yard plunge. They came back to score at the 1:06 mark of the second quarter on an 84-yard drive and a 1-yard smash by Wendell Tyler. That's all the scoring we've had. The Cardinals missed a 31-yard field goal in the third quarter. And now the penalty against Los Angeles.
Three-quarter stats by Ned Miller's staff. First down to Rams 19, the Cardinals 6. Total yards, Rams 268, Cardinals 155.
He's stepping it off against the Rams, the 10-yarder. Let's see who it is. We might have that on replay. We'll see here in a minute.
Illegal shift, number 84, offense, declined. Holding, number 78, offense, accepted.
Now we got 2 penalties in the play.
Yeah, that's a good explanation.
Yes,
I
it
like
was.
that.
Jackie Slater, 78. Ron Smith was 84. Anyway, after the penalty, going to bring up 2nd down, 13 yards to go. That's Jesse moving back towards the line of scrimmage. Haden back to throw. Lots of time. Jesse wide open at the 20-yard line. Stone's got him. What happened was Carl Allen fell down.
Good observation. He did. Jesse came back in motion along the line of scrimmage, and you see him right there, who is moving at the bottom of your screen. He went up the field, And exactly what happened. He fell down. You see him getting off the ground there, and Jesse was wide open. And fortunately, you know, Kenny Stone came over and made the play. If not, he would have scored.
20-yard pickup for Ron Jesse. 49 catches a year ago for Jesse. He's battled back from some knee surgery, and he's quite a football player. He was a great athlete at Kansas. He was an indoor long jump champion.
Great leaper, great leaper.
And this is Tyler straight up the middle. And Tyler driving to the 12-yard line. Great second effort on his part. Bob Pollard eventually downed him. But Tyler only weighs 188 pounds, but he was carrying him on his back. Going to be just short of that first down.
Tyler's played well for them today. He's done a good job.
Second down, 3 yards to go.
2nd and 3. 13:50 remaining in this one. Tyler has 69 yards on 15 carries. It's interesting, you know, a guy starts fumbling. And a lot of things that go into that. He's had that rap. He had it at UCLA. He's had it here, but he's held on to it today.
He's done a good job for him today.
Waddy in motion. Give to Tyler again. And Tyler inside the 10, and he may have the first down. Be a 1st and goal for the Rams. They'd like to put a clincher on with a 14-0 lead.
Very important, too, Gary, because if they do score here, I think it would put the Cardinals kind of out of range unless some miracle happens. But they need to force a turnover right here. They need a fumble. They need an interception.
You know, you look at this team, the Cardinals, the first 3 games scoring very well. They had 43 points through the first 3 games. They had 7 last week. Thus far, none. They've just hit a drop. 1st and goal at the 9. Give to Tyler again, and Tyler fumbles the ball. And who's got it? St. Louis. And that's what we were just talking about. He fumbles it at the 5, and the Cardinals are still alive in this game.
They needed a turnover, and they got the turnover. Take a look at this. You notice how he's careless with the football right here. He takes it up. Look at him.
Oh, boy.
He's got it out in his arm. The contact comes in, and guess who forced the fumble? Calvin Favron came in and made the hit on him, knocked that ball loose.
And that's probably ruined what Tyler felt was one of his better afternoons in the National Football League. Steve Niels was in on that play, too.
I think he came up with a fumble. Favron made the hit on him to jar the ball loose, and Niels came up with a fumble recovery.
And so at the 4-yard line, the Cardinals still are alive with 12:41 remaining. They trail 14-0. They've got to get something going on this drive. Here's a give to Anderson, and Anderson out to the 5, and that's all. A gain of 1. Larry Brooks, an all-NFL second-team pick a year ago, and San Francisco is falling in the rears in that game, aren't they?
20-yard touchdown pass to the #1 draft choice, Cullen Winslow, the big tight end. Dan Fouts, a 20-yard, 24-9.
Boy, Fouts is having a good year, isn't he? How many quarterbacks are already over 1,000 yards? I was looking at that yesterday. 2 of them in the NFC already.
It's unbelievable. Look at this, Dallas. The short week of practice didn't hurt them at all. 31-13, they lead right now.
Gain of 1 on that last play. 2nd and 9 from the 5. Hardy's been in the end zone a couple of 3 times in this game. He just got rid of that one. Making his cut was Tilley, but he just wasn't open at all. Pat Thomas over there defending. Jim unloads it. Jack Youngblood was the guy putting pressure on Hart, and it comes to a 3rd down.
They're going to have to put it up. They got to throw the football now. They can't make up 14 points running the football. He throws it here, but he just threw the ball away. He grounded the ball. He got away with it. That's what a veteran can do. He's allowed to do that. They got to let you do that once in a while and not get caught.
Keeps you alive anyway. Hart 6 of 20 now for 80 yards. 3rd down and 9.
They need a big play.
And this is where it's going to have to come. Hart rolling around, and he hits Steve, but that's not going to be enough for the first down. Steve is hit by Dave Elmendorf. He's upset about something. The ball at the 10-yard line. It's 4th down, still 4 yards to go.
I tell you, that Ram defense is doing an excellent job. They had everybody covered. Jim moved out of the pocket, made the completion, but Not enough for the first down. They're going to have to kick it away.
11:25, and time now is slipping away for the Cardinals if they're going to come from behind in this one. Eddie Brown goes back for this punt. Steve Little. There's Brown. Brown has really done a good job in returning punts.
And they're going to come away with this, the kicking from the end zone. Little, they're going to get good field position again.
Brown in '77 set an NFL record for punt returns in a season as well as in a game. And here he has it at the 45 of St. Louis, trying to get ground, gets away from Bill Morrell, a flag on the play, and he goes out of bounds at the 37-yard line. A 34-yard kick that time by Steve Little.
You're going to have a clipping. A block was made right back where he was. And a man, he really didn't clip. He just kind of pushed in the back. One of the Cardinal players coming down got pushed in the back, and I think you're going to call it clipping.
Seen a lot of that. As you know, you can't block below the waist anymore.
Well, he just kind of pushed him in the back then. Whatever their interpretation is of this particular.
There it is.
Personal foul.
Wait a minute.
Cardinals.
Clipping, well, that's offsetting penalties.
I got to learn those rules. I tell you what, they give you all those hand signals.
A personal foul against one and clipping against the other.
Personal foul, number 84, kicking team.
That's Steve.
Personal foul, clipping, number 72, receiving team. Receiving team will retain the ball.
Thank you very much.
72 is Kent Hill for the Rams. He's a first-round draft pick out of Georgia Tech. So they're going to have the ball. Well, where are they going to have the ball? Where'd he go out of bounds? They're still trying to locate the football. There it comes. It'll be a first down for the Rams. 10:49 left. Next week, the Cardinals go to Houston, Los Angeles to New Orleans. Have timeout right now with 10:49 left. So the Rams with that 14-0 lead, they'd like to get the clincher. We'll be back in a moment.
The AC Spark Plug, buy 7, get 1 free sales on right now. Participating outlets where you see this poster.
Thanks, AC.
Americans are learning that if their car's plugs are misfiring, a tune-up with new AC Spark Plugs can help improve gas mileage. Thanks, AC. Now's the time to tune up because AC Delco is making it possible for you to get 8 AC Spark Plugs for the price of 7.
Thanks, AC.
Tune up with AC. Buy 7, get 1 free.
Thanks, AC.
Selling an insurance policy is one thing, but giving you good service is another. And State Farm agents can do that. Whether it's your life, health, home, or car insurance, the information you need is right at our fingertips. If you have a claim, your agent will get it started for you. Fast, friendly, good neighbor service. That's State Farm.
For your life, your health, your home, and your car. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Los Angeles Ram cheerleaders here with 10:49 remaining in this game. As the Rams with a 14-0 lead. And that reminds us to remind you that tonight on CBS we have 60 Minutes, a brand new edition. Archie Bunker's place then is followed by One Day at a Time. And there's more great comedy on Alice, Vanessa Jefferson's, and Pernell Roberts stars as Trapper John M.D. All tonight on CBS.
Oh, what a lineup, huh? Great lineup.
You better believe it. Fidel Castro with Dan Rather on 60 Minutes. Archie Bunker, he's something.
I kind of like Alice myself.
From the 44.5-yard line, the St. Louis end of the field. 10:49 remaining in the game. First down, Los Angeles. And carrying the ball is Elvis Peacock, and Alvin Favron was there to make the tackle. Favron is a super quick player out of Southeast Louisiana State. He was their second round draft pick, and he was a defensive end in college, and when he came into the preseason camp, they couldn't block him. He was one of those guys who was so quick. 6'1", 225-pounder.
It's an adjustment for them to make standing up, you know, where he's been down in the three-point stance. Now he has to stand up and play, and he's made the adjustment.
Gain of 1, 2nd and 9. Hayden. Oh, he's got time, doesn't he? There, Niels comes up. He gets it off to Peacock. That'll be incomplete. Steve Niels dumped Hayden. He had time, and all of a sudden, Steve Niels came pouring through. gave him a pretty good hit. Niels has a sack this year. Haden getting up, and he's okay.
Well, they had good coverage that time. That's why Pat had to throw the ball in the flat to Peacock. He wanted to go downfield, but everyone was covered. He dumped the ball off. No completion.
Pat Haden, 5'11", 180, fourth-year man out of USC. Rhodes Scholar and a young man who is completing all kinds of studies here in the offseason at Loyola University. He and Vince Ferragamo. Ferragamo wants to be a doctor. They're both going to school. Both quarterbacks in the offseason. Third down, 9. Haden hit again and hit hard, but he got it off to Charles Young. The ball is fumbled. Picked up by Roger Worley. And Worley to the 30. Worley is going to bring it out. He fumbles the ball. Now he's got it. Looks like Ken Green came up with it. I'll tell you, Haden really got hit when he released the football. Charlie Davis is shaken up for St. Louis. Look at Haden. Boy, they hit him about chest high and drilled him.
Well, he made a good pass, and he made the completion. He looked like he hurt his hand some. He looked down at his hand. Let's take a look at it and see. You'll see the rush here. They had a blitz on. You see Eric Williams come around. And you see right there, they jump right in his face. He made the completion, made an excellent throw to Charlie Young. Green knocks the ball loose. Again, this time the Cardinals come up with the football. Roger Worley comes across, picks it up. Put it away, Roger. Put it away. He does put it away, but he's not used to carrying the football, and he fumbles the thing.
Cardinals end up with the ball to 41, and now Hart has to fall on it.
Is this a comedy of errors, or what's going on?
Well, it's been elusive football as far as the Cardinals are concerned the last 2 weeks. 5 fumbles last week. They've had 12 turnovers coming into this game.
Unreal. Give you a little trivia thing here. O.J. Simpson is the second back in the National Football League history to rush for 11,000 yards, right?
Right.
He had 83 today. Who was the other one?
Jim Brown.
Oh, smart, aren't you?
That was a safe guess. From the 41, second down, still 10 yards to go. Hart again, stepping up. Tilly, and defending on the play, Pat Thomas. Those down and out patterns on the sidelines, they've covered him every time.
They have excellent coverage that time by Thomas. And he made a good throw by throwing it a little out of his reach. And it goes incomplete.
So it's 3rd and 10. You know, if you look at the Cardinals, as far as one phase of the game as we look now at Bud Wilkinson, one phase of their game has been taken away from them is that very play. I don't believe they've completed that 1 out of 6 or 7 times the last couple of weeks.
They're playing a good defensive team. That's what they're facing.
Looks like a blitz is coming. Now backs off again. 3rd down. Hart looking for the first down. And he's got it. Pat Tilly. Tilly with the catch. That'll be a first down at the 35, and the Cardinals are still alive with 8:55 remaining, a 24-yard game.
I'm telling you something. It's great experience, and this is just a tremendous throw right here by Jim Hart. What an accurate throw. This man's really not open. He just throws the ball perfectly. Just beats Eddie Brown. What a great pass, great reception. It's still alive, as you said.
So Pat Tilly now with 2 catches, but for 46 yards. First down at the 35. Hart with a lot of time, and then he's hit as he releases it, and that one's up for grabs. Intercepted. Here comes Dave Elmendorf, his 2nd interception of the day. And he's out to the 40. Just as Hart looked like he had time to throw, he was hit as he released the ball, and that ball was just a wounded duck. There was nothing he could do about it.
Well, that's something you pay the price as a quarterback holding the ball. He did have 2 people open, but because he got hit, that's a gift interception. Believe me, when you get hit, nothing you can do about it.
A year ago, the Rams had 28 interceptions. They had only 2 prior to today.
And now, a highlight of the incredible Ford factory tour. Incredible developments in our search for good performance, better mileage, and low emissions. We're working on a ceramic gas turbine engine that'll get at least 30% better mileage than a conventional engine of the same size.
Buddy, I'd call that incredible.
I would.
We're experimenting with battery power. For instance, this hybrid vehicle. Over 20 miles per hour, it runs on gas. Under 20, runs on electric.
Oh, that's even more incredible.
Is there such a word as incredible-er?
Ford is even working on an engine that gets mileage like a diesel, but runs a lot cleaner.
Is there anything more incredible than incredible?
Yes, our little 4-cylinder Mustang. It accelerates like some cars with 8-cylinder engines because it's turbocharged.
Friends, I guess there's only one way left to express our basic emotions.
Ford, that's incredible.
To take the incredible Ford factory tour, write us for information.
Well, you're looking at Dave Elmendorf, his second interception. Sonny, let's look at it again.
Well, you look at this and you'll see what causes the interception. It's the pressure. You see right there, just as he released the ball, he got hit. He had somebody open, but look what happens. The ball is underthrown. Well, you're not guilty as a quarterback of throwing that. I can't count that as an interception for the quarterback. I got to give it to the offensive line.
We have a new quarterback for the Rams. Vince Ferragamo has come in. He gives off to Elvis Peacock, and he gets a yard. We've just been told by our producer Howard Reifsnyder they're x-raying the finger on the throwing hand of Pat Haden. Remember,
we saw him when he came off the field. He was taking a look at it, and it must have either hit somebody's shoulder pad or helmet. You do that in your follow-through a lot of times, and possibly that's what happened.
You know, he broke his thumb in the playoffs against Dallas, and now that was the index finger this time, I believe. And so from the 42, second down and 8. There's Ferragamo's stats. He came in last week against Tampa Bay in the fourth quarter. Out of Nebraska. Give to Peacock again. Peacock to the 45, the 50, the first down to the Cardinal 46-yard line. Steve Niels drops him. Elvis Peacock. You got a feeling if he ever gets healthy, no telling what this guy would be like.
Take a look, a little counter. You saw him take the little counter step. He actually outruns the block that time. Gets outside. Bill Bain in at guard, and he outran Bill Bain that time to get outside, and enough for the first down.
You know, Haden left the game, Sonny, 14 of 24, 170 yards. Pretty good afternoon. I was impressed with his play today.
I was. He's able to move the ball on the ground, and that really helps Pat Haden when they're capable of doing that.
From the 46, the first down. This is Ferragamo, and boom, almost intercepted. Nice play by Ken Green. Green all over the place. Here's a fourth quarter score in Oakland, leading Denver. It's a surprise.
This is a surprise. 20-3. It's unbelievable. You know, that's kind of unreal. I didn't expect them to come back and play this well. They got Kansas City beat them last week.
Right, and Denver came from behind on the arm of Craig Morton last week, and now they're having offensive problems, it looks like.
And Kansas City doing a job on Seattle, too. They're leading 24-6 right now. They're in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Seattle's had their problems. Second and 10. Ferragamo, fourth round draft pick in 1977. He just got rid of that one. Man covered on the far side all the way, and he just tossed it out of there. There's the score you just mentioned a while ago, Sonny, the Kansas City-Seattle game. And that is a final. Kansas City has won. It's just been handed to us, the final score, and they're 3-2.
Boy, Marv Levy has done an excellent job there.
Got a good young team defensively, and that doggone wing T seems to be working for him a little bit.
A lot of
your time
criticism.
remaining.
A lot of criticism, excuse me, Gary, but a lot of criticism last year about that wing tee, but it's been successful for him.
There we are, time remaining in the score. The Rams have never been able to put the clincher together, but the Cardinals have never been able to get on the board. It's been a battle of no scoring in the second half. There's Charles Young. And he's to the 31-yard line and has a first down. Perry Smith defending on the play.
Just a real good throw here by Vince Ferragamo. I like this young man. Good throw here. He gets a blitz, has single coverage, delivers the ball well. You see how close Smith was to making a play, but not quite. Threw it accurately, enough for the first down.
You know, you wonder what's happened to Young. He had some sensational years. In '74, he caught 63 passes. That led the NFC. He had 55 catches in '73.
It's hard to catch that many when you're sitting on the bench.
That's a good point. Last year, he had 18 catches. Here is on the far side, Eddie Hill. Hill inside the 30-yard line to the 27. Rams in a position where they like to be. The 14-0 lead, time starting to tick away, and they're moving the football. There's Eddie Hill, number 24.
The last 2 times they've had the football, the Cardinals have forced him to turn the ball over. They stopped him down inside of their 5-yard line once, and then they got the fumble by Terry Nelson, and Worley picked it up. They put a stop to him a couple times. They need it again.
Second down and 6. Ferragamo, big guy, 6'3", 207, cranking up, throwing down the field. Jesse running out of room. He couldn't stay in and make the catch. Carl Allen defending on the play. And Ron Jesse with 5:02 as you see the scoreboard clock here. The Rams now, Sonny, this is really kind of surprising. Have 351 yards in total offense. 166 rushing, 185 passing.
They've had the ball so much, really, because they've been able to control the ball. They haven't made any mistakes that have really hurt them. Yet on the other hand, the Cardinals have.
Cardinals 195 yards, 109 passing, 86 rushing. Ferragamo back, look out, pressure, and he's got a man, Bill Waddy, touchdown. Bill Waddy went up, had to wait on that football, but he got it, 27-yard touchdown strike. Roger Worley defending on the play, and that may be the clincher they've been looking for.
2 people coming off the bench. Vince Ferragamo looked to his right, then went back and threw to his left, and Waddy just makes a good catch. He steals the ball from Roger Worley, and he was in the end zone when he made the catch. Therefore, they get a touchdown.
A future
Ferragamo
doctor.
a little happy, huh?
Vince Ferragamo. He's studying in medical school. Be a doctor someday. They must have the smartest core of quarterbacks in the history of the NFL in Haden and Ferragamo. One a doctor, another a Rhodes Scholar.
We talk about that when Kilmer and I were in Washington.
Well, you were smart in other ways.
We had to go the other way. That's right.
Corral, point after. And it's a 21-0 game. And so, the Los Angeles Rams on a 60-yard drive in 8 plays. A 27-yard touchdown pass from Ferragamo to Waddy. 4:55 left.
I had my own way of tackling. I used to grab the whole backfield. Then I threw guys out until I found the one with the ball. When I started drinking beer, I did the same thing. And this is the one I'm holding on to. Light beer from Miller. It has 1/3 less calories than a regular beer. It's less filling, and it tastes terrific, too. I also love the easy opening can.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Spread your wings. Introducing the new 1980 Thunderbird, a Thunderbird of new contemporary size that shows its elegant heritage wherever you look. And with its new size and a new 4.2-liter engine, this Thunderbird has excellent estimated gas mileage and also offers the first automatic overdrive option built in America, a new engineering breakthrough.
Coming October 12th. But see it now during this special preview week.
Take a look again at the Rams' 3rd touchdown. Billy Waddy makes a play in the end zone against Roger Worley. Good catch, excellent catch by him. He just protected the ball. It wasn't a very accurately thrown ball. He got it to the man, but he just made an excellent play out of catching it for the touchdown.
There's the statistics on that last drive. That short kick taken by Kurt Allerman. And the Cardinals have the ball at the 40-yard line. Corral has kicked off those line drives all day. That's been their strategy.
It's kind of unusual, too, because if somebody can cut one of those things off, they get good field position. They also can return the ball very quickly before the covering team can get down.
I assume that's by design. From the 40-yard line now, the Cardinals down 21-0. They've got to kind of salve some injuries now, as here's Pizarkowicz, the new quarterback, off to Gary Parrish. And Parrish, the tight end, to the 42-yard line. Steve Pizarkowicz in at quarterback for the first time this year on his first pass, completion of 18 yards to Gary Parrish.
Good call here. You see him hide the ball, just a little screen, throws it off to Gary Parrish. Makes a good run with the football afterwards. He showed me a little moves there, huh?
That's his 4th catch of the year. Pozarkowicz, 1 for 1 for the 79 season. Boy, he had a great game in the preseason against Atlanta. 4 touchdown passes. And now from the 41-yard line. Pozarkowicz throwing again over the middle. He's got his man, and Dave Steve making the catch inside the 40. They're going to mark the ball at the 36-yard line, and it'll be 4 yards short of the first down. Nolan Cromwell with the tackle.
That's something I think the Cardinal receivers, I like what they do. They recognize the blitz, and when they recognize the blitz, they alter their pattern. They run a little slant pattern, and Steve picked it up well and made the completion. He's the leading quarterback in the league right now, 2 for 2 for the season.
Pat Haden, by the way, the x-rays on his index finger on his throwing hand have proved negative. And that's good news.
You better get back on the field because Ferragamo just threw a touchdown pass.
It'll make you get well. Theodis Brown, nothing doing on that play. Jim Youngblood.
Jim Youngblood made the stop.
Well, the basketball season getting underway in fine fashion. October 12th right here on CBS. The Lakers against the Clippers, and I'm anxious to see Bill Walton play for the Clippers. Going against Magic Johnson of the Lakers. Bill Walton is healthy, he's happy, and when he's healthy and happy, no telling what kind of season he could have.
I tell you one thing, you have to be alert when you're on the floor with Magic Johnson because he can embarrass you with hitting you with a basketball.
Boy, that's going to be a good team in Los Angeles. The big guy in the middle and Nixon and Johnson at the guards. Back to throw Pozarkowicz, throwing far side. He just got rid of that one. Jim Childs was the man over there. Pat Thomas. I got to say something about Thomas. He has really played well today. He's covered everything they've thrown his way.
Looks like to me that he's reading the pattern so well because every time someone is running out pattern, he has read the pattern perfectly. Looked like to me if Childs had gone upfield that particular time, he would have run right by him, but yet the pattern was designed to go out and he was there. He must be reading the receivers.
We have a 4th down now, and they're just going to try to get something going. 4th and 6. 2:41 left in the game. Pozarkowicz scrambling around across the grain, intended for Theodis Brown. And guess who was there again? Number 53, Jim Youngblood. He has 2 interceptions already this year. He's really come on. He's played that left linebacker spot as well as anybody will play it. And so, taking over on downs, the Rams with 2:36 remaining.
Here's a great Radio Shack bargain for people on the go. A take-along realistic entertainment system. It's an AM/FM radio for music and news, a cassette tape player. With this built-in mic, I can record lectures, meetings, even personal notes anywhere. Right now at Radio Shack, it's only $59.95. That's $30 off. Realistic radio recorder, like having a take-along entertainment system. Now sale price, just $59.95 at Radio Shack, a Tandy company.
Introducing the first new truck of the 80s, the only American 4x4 pickup with independent front suspension, the 1980 Ford. And for the first time ever, we're going to run a 4-wheel drive over these 4x4 beams next to this wall of light bulbs. A rod is attached to the front wheel and another to the door. Now watch as Ford's unique 4x4 independent front suspension steps over the beams independently. The wheel rod is breaking bulbs, but the door rod doesn't. Come into your Ford dealer now for a special preview of the first new truck of the 80s.
A priest falls from the Golden Gate Bridge.
Suicide. Someone is trying to kill me.
A cop and a beautiful nun. Together they might find the truth and each other. The Golden Gate Murders, Wednesday at 9, 8 Central.
2:36 remaining in this game. We want to thank our statistician, Dennis Mnuchin, our spotter, Chuck Panama, for our help today in this booth. We have 2:36 left, and the Rams have a 21-0 lead. Our first down at the 37-yard line.
God, and I want to thank Ozzie Lang. He's been giving me all the scores here, and we have another final. San Diego 31, San Francisco 9.
And fighting for some yardage is Eddie Hill. Hill to the 39-yard line. It's Kurt Allerman in there now at a linebacker spot, making the stop. And we have a timeout called.
Hey, do you understand this timeout? What are they doing? So we're going to call a timeout here. Take one of them because we want to score 21 points.
Now they're going to explain why they called the timeout.
What was that?
Timeout is called
By the Cardinals. They called the timeout.
All right.
They have 2 remaining.
2 remaining timeouts. They want to force a fumble. stranger things have happened.
And of course they'll have the 2-minute warning coming up in a moment. I tell you, Bud has had some more pleasant Sunday afternoons than this one today.
He's got to be very disappointed. His team just has not played well today. You know, you could, since, you know, they played 2 tough teams, Dallas, Pittsburgh. They gave the game away last week against the Washington Redskins. To come out here today, you're asking an awful lot for them to bounce back and play with a lot of enthusiasm. I don't think they have, Gary.
Boy, they've got 6 playoff teams in the first 8 weeks. This is the 3rd and 5, so it's not going to get any easier. Here's Eddie Hill, and Hill out to the 44-yard line. Well, this team might have left their best football on the field after those losses. That'll do it to you sometimes. You lose. They thought they had the Pittsburgh game won. That's the one that really hurt.
One of the big problem is, I feel it in all football teams, and being part of it for the 18 years that I've played, is that you think it's going to get easier, right? It doesn't get easier. I don't care who your opponent is, it just doesn't get easier.
2-minute warning. The Rams on their way to their 3rd win of the year.
Now, the trick is, in just 3 moves, they get the light bottle caps all together, moving 2 each time. Once, twice, 3.
What? That's easy.
Hey, I could put away a lot of beer by the time they figure this one out. That's why I'm drinking light beer from Miller. Not only does light taste great, but it's got 1/3 less calories than their regular beer. And it's less filling.
Hey, what's going on here?
Okay, once more. 1, 2, 3.
What? That's easy. Let me in.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Good old Charlie, that's me. Somebody's got a dead battery and they call good old Charlie, and I jump-start 'em. Rain, snow, day, night. Well, this time I tell 'em, get your own Die Hard.
The maintenance-free Die Hard has extra power to start your car when most batteries won't.
This is the last time.
Thank you, Charlie.
Oh, anytime.
The Die Hard, sold only at Sears.
This Ram and Cardinal game here at the Coliseum, produced by Howard Reifsnyder. Our director is Jim Silman. Our associate producer is Ray Ball. And Brooks Graham, the manager of the field operations.
Is he Mexican?
And the technical director is Steve Cunningham. He wouldn't go out and eat Mexican food with us last night.
Really disappointed me.
And Andy Bass, our audio technician. Gentlemen, thank you.
Well, we've had some excellent pictures today, haven't we?
From the 44, 3rd and 5, 2 minutes remaining in this game. 87 is Drew Hill in motion for the Rams. Here's Eddie Hill. They've got 3 Hills on this team. Kent, Eddie, and Drew. They call them the big, small, and the medium-sized Hill. The big one is Kent Hill. The medium size is Eddie, and the small one is Drew. I thought you'd like to know that.
Thanks a lot, Gary.
4th down coming up now.
You know who made that tackle? A guy that loves to hit people, and that's Kurt Allerman, right?
He's been their special teams player deluxe. He's just been outstanding. He along with Johnny Bearfield. And now the Rams will have to kick the football as Willard Harrell will go back. He'll be joined there by Thomas Lott. Well, this is the last year for the Rams here in the Coliseum. They moved to Anaheim in 1980. I don't know how far that is from here, but they'll be shifting the site. A lot of activity last night. The game played here, UCLA, Ohio State. The field's in good shape, but boy, by the end of the year, there's a lot of football games on this field. Here's Ken Clark to kick.
Got a 4th quarter score. Oakland leading Denver 27-3.
It's unbelievable. Harrell back at the 20. Clark to kick inside the 30. He's going to kick it away from him. He isn't either. From the 20-yard line, I said that twice today, and he's kicked it to him both times. And Harrell's going to get out of bounds at the 23-yard line. A 36-yard kick, and the official gets dumped. And so with 1:45, the Cardinals have a last chance to get on the board.
If you choose your tools as carefully as you use them, choose Master Mechanic tools from True Value Hardware stores. Master Mechanic tools are American-made from superior materials to give you the performance and long life you would expect from a professional quality tool. True Value Hardware stores are so confident of this quality that they'll replace any Master Mechanic tool that fails to perform as expected. And that means any tool from the wide line of Master Mechanic tools sold only at participating True Value hardware stores.
From the 23-yard line, Steve Pozarkowicz with a first down and a little screen to Gary Paris. Paris out to the 31-yard line, and he's caught a couple of passes since Pozarkowicz has come in. Kevin McLean making the tackle, number 50, out of Colorado State, who is probably their best special teams performer. 13 tackles and 14 assists a year ago. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 3, just across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Pozarkowicz getting some playing time. He started one game last year for the Cardinals against the New York Jets.
Gary, it's over with.
Is it? On a 2nd and 2, Zark is back again. He's got Ottis Anderson. Anderson, well, he's had some trouble a couple of times. He's cut, and the feet have gone out from under him. He may have lost his first down by giving ground. They may measure to see. As he started back, he lost some ground, and a timeout is called by St. Louis. That's their second one. And they're going to maybe measure to see. But while they're measuring, we're going to go away, and you'll hear this.
Do you know me? Playing football, sure. But my name comes up 0 in English rugby. So when I travel...
2 seconds left. Steve Pozarkowicz has retreated back to the huddle as you see him coming into the picture after visiting with Bud Wilkinson. And so the Cardinals are going to move into Houston next week. Boy, that's going to be a tough one. Next, coming up here on CBS, 60 Minutes. I'm looking forward to that. Dan Rather with Fidel Castro. And some of, I guess, some enlightenment on what's happening down there in Cuba. I'd like to know, wouldn't you?
Hope he can get us a Cuban cigar.
It'd be better than that thing you've been smoking up here, I'll tell you. You got to get some new cigars. I can't work with you anymore.
Maybe Dan Rather will get me one.
Okay. From the 33-yard line, 3rd down, a yard to go. They just missed it a moment ago. Pozarkowicz got some time. He's got it off to Anderson. He's got the first down. Same play they went to earlier. First down at the 37, and time ticking away. Joe Harris was the man that made the tackle. Cardinals have another play called. You see the time remaining, upper right-hand portion of the screen. Pozarkowicz intended for Theodis Brown.
No, thank you. I don't want it. That's a reject, isn't it?
Brown, the number 2 draft pick out of UCLA. I'll tell you one thing about Pozarkowicz coming in here. This is good game experience for him. Come in and try to crank up and get something on the board.
I mean, he's 5 of 8, but it's an impossible situation. I mean, to come in and throw, everybody knows you got to throw the football. It is. It's the most difficult position you can be in as far as throwing the football when everybody knows it.
And yet, you're going to have those situations, and he's learning from it. 2nd and 10. Steve's had a pretty good afternoon for St. Louis, as that catch will be just short of the first down, his 3rd catch.